Hello and welcome everybody, I'm your humble host today, Gavin Kitty, and I am streaming random Pac-Man fan games. Yes, there's more than one. I'm quite tired, today will probably be a shorter stream, but how is everybody doing? Hello, a Blue Foxo and Shauna Foxy. How you guys doing? Oh gosh, I am all sorts of frazzled today. Some people may know why. But we're just gonna go ahead and start whenever I can figure out the start button, because I cannot remember for the life of me. One. There. Hello, Nim. I don't know how to say that. NM Spy? Hello, welcome. Blue Fox says, am good, sleepy. Yeah, I feel that. So I've got like 2 or 3 fan games to show off. Oh, shoot. And I misclicked. Not a good week, I can understand that. I've been dealing with my own set of anxieties and issues this week. So, this fan game is pretty awesome. It's got a lot going on to it. So I've got a dodge roll. You can chain power pellets together. The ghosts will sometimes have letters on them. And if you could spell out the word Pac-Man, you will get a power-up. It uses the arrangement music. This game is called Pac-Man Brothers. All these games are going to be free, by the way. You can find most of them by just kind of searching around for them. This is one that has a lot of hype around it, especially because of that dodge roll mechanic. It'll stop you from eating dots, but it'll save you from getting ghosts. But you do have to wait for it to recharge before you can go again. It's got simultaneous 2-player and all sorts of stuff. Well, I mean, well, good. At least people are getting it right, right? Right, NM Spy? NM Spy? Sorry. I'm probably going to butcher it a lot. Oh, no, not at all. It just doesn't happen. I'm just the most difficult person to get a hold of. A Blue Foxo. But yeah, we're just gonna spend some time relaxing. This is kind of sort of my attempt at a mental health stream today, because I spent a lot of my morning drawing and sketching and working on minor script things and all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of mechanics in this game, by the way, some of which they don't explain to you. Like, you can actually speed yourself up by holding around the corners. Okay. Through here. Oh god, I'm trying to hold a button and it won't work. You gotta tap it. That's the only problem that I hate about Joy to Key. It won't read a held button, it'll only read a pressed button, so... Due to the way Joy to Key works, it's actually a little harder to play Pac-Man than, what I would like. If you get a letter that you've already gotten, don't worry about it. When you get low on dots, eventually the ghosts will start acting strange, so... Hello, Skylar, welcome. I think this is one of the best takes on Pac-Man, believe it or not. Especially when it comes to multiplayer. Takes the best part of the Midway side of Pac-Man and the best side of Namco and just runs with it, and I think it's great. Boom. There's that dodge roll in action. Well, I'm trying here. How you doing? I'm doing alright, Skylar. Oh, yes. If you're ever... I recommend the rabbit hole of going down uh, going down the rabbit hole of old forgotten 80s and 80s video games, especially arcade games, because a lot of people don't really notice these games much anymore. Which is a real shame, because a lot of these games are really, really good. I actually have a video coming out later this month about why Namco hates Pac-Man, and what that means. Substance over style, exactly. Style over substance. I love the style of these old games, but I think that we can make new ones that are just as good as the old ones. In fact, if anybody remembers the stream I did a long time ago, last year, we did a video stream covering Flappy Bird, the mobile game scene, Anna Lynn, and how the mobile scene has become a new scene for modern retro takes on retro games, and how I think that is a pretty fantastic thing to see. There we go. I can read the chat, Skylar. Please do not tell people to stop talking in my chat. We've been over this before. Is now active than like 95% of YouTube streams. Well, our chat generally is pretty active. It's less active than most, but Galaga, hello Sylvian Chan. Galaga, Galaxian, Dig Dug. My favorite Namco machine is actually Bosconian. If you've never played it, it's a really, really cool game. It's got a sequel on the PlayStation called Star Luster. But I don't actually have any plans to go over the video, over a video like that, especially seeing as Loxton Noggin actually beat me to it by about a decade. Bam. Shit. Tried. Fine for my mental health. My, this game is running on a computer in a well-lit room. Mental health do be important. And God knows I don't get much outside much, so. Oh, some of these maze designs can be a little difficult with how I play. Because I love controller support, but this thing's only got support for Xbox controllers. And I don't play with an Xbox controller, I play with a PlayStation Classic controller. You thought I said Bostonian? No, Bosconian. Sounds like a snack, but it's in fact a fleet of evil aliens that take after the Galaxians. So the darker colored dots actually make you slow down, but they get you more points, so gotta stay on your toes. This was revealed at the Sage Expo 2022. And even though I suck at it, you guys can definitely get pretty good at this game. It's even got a level select. Although it's not the only Pac-Man fan game there is out there, it's one of my favorites, so we'll be taking a look at this and a couple of others today. I love the maze design, though. It's like, it's got this crazy aesthetic where it starts out like Pac-Man Jr. and then ramps it up in style, speed, and substance. Ah, shoot. Imagine having a stable mental health. Well, I'm trying to get there, folks. I've been working on my mental health all this year. It's been one of those things that I have been struggling to grasp for a little over a decade, and we're getting there. Hey! Well, at least we got a score. Let me go ahead and get the next game booted up here. So, yeah, feel free to drop likes, by the way, guys. More likes we get, the more the stream gets shared around. Let's see, 20 minutes on one game. That's not too bad. Modern takes on Pac-Man are all over the place. This is amazing. Oh, you goober. Yeah, a lot of really awesome Pac-Man fan games do exist. There are 3D ones, there are 2D ones. But I'm just gonna play a couple that I have laying around here. Okay. Close that. We'll come back to some favorites if you guys think so. This next one I'm showing off is called Pac-Man Megamix, not to be confused with the other Pac-Man Megamix. So there are two of this fan game. One version was made strictly for arcades, and one was made for PC. This is the one made for PC, because the one made for arcades is only playable in a singular arcade in the middle of California, and I don't have the time nor the money to do so. Art style, blocky, default, classic, game maker, neon. Let's go with default. And for now, we'll do Dragon works. Hold Z works. Plus mode on. That one's always fun. We can also change what character we have, and this changes the ghosts. So, for starters, we'll just start with regular Pac-Man. So with Pac Booster, I can hold down the Z button to speed up. This was something included in Miss Pac-Man for the Tengen version. If you've never heard about the Tengen version, don't be surprised. They were part of Atari for a little while. Pac-Man Plus was a neat modification board. Allowed for all sorts of craziness. You had to pay attention to the maze color in order to see which ghosts were affected by the power pellet. Lended an interesting bit of strategy to ghost layouts. It also meant that you couldn't get as high of a score. Although I do like the Pac Booster, because it can help you get out of situations. When playing as Miss Pac-Man, it can boost the game to some unreal speeds. I love the music here, by the way. It's got some really good picks. Hello, Fox No. Welcome. Exactly. It's actually why I make these, I do these streams and videos, to bring people joy and also to, you know, inform people. Because I love educating people. It's one of those things we do, I like doing from time to time. Is learning people some stuff. I know, it's teaching people some stuff, but... oh, dang it. Once again, joy to key. My controller's not always going to be the most responsive thing in the world, and that's... sorry about that. So, gameplay might not be top tier, but... got a nice map over there on the right-hand side. Although we can't always see where the ghosts are coming from. Can at least be prepared to avoid them. Of course, we got the classic cutscenes in here, too. So Pac-Man was one of my favorite video game characters for a really long time. I grew up with the Pac-Man World titles. I grew up with World 2 and 3. I later got World 1 on Game Boy Advance, and then World 1 on PS1. They recently did Repack, and it's okay. I don't think it was necessarily the best version of World 1, but it was better than what some gave it. Alright, let's go with Miss Maze. Why not? Miss Pac-Man Maze Pack, that'll work. We'll up our lives a little bit. We'll keep the plus mode off. Alright. Sylveon, you goober. You can see here it actually is playing some of the world music. Alright, we'll catch you later, Sean. I don't know how long we're going to be going for. Today is meant to just be a shorter stream for me. I have not been to sleep yet since yesterday, and while I don't have a whole lot to get done today, I do have quite a bit of working. Oh gosh, we could talk about Pac-Mom and all that, but I plan on doing that in my big video later this month. I do love the little edits here, it's really great. What or who kept you up? Oh yeah, I wonder. Not a guilty hand or nothing. You're fine, by the way. I was probably going to end up staying up regardless. It's better to stay up with people rather than just with ourselves, because it takes a lot of mental power to do that. It's what ends up making us the most tired. Then we end up having to switch to entertain and amuse ourselves. Alright. It'll also tell you how many dots you got left, which is a fantastic inclusion. I wish it was in the main games. So, for anybody who's new to this channel and has no idea what I do here, I make skits every Monday for short little shorts that are just, you know, cute and fun. Then we do larger essay videos once a month, discussing some of my favorite video games, going into history and tales of wonder and amazement from these games, whether that be development, lore-wise, or just, you know, random thought pieces. And then we also do streams every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or I try to at least, where we go more in-depth on each title that we look at throughout the week. But for Pac-Man, it really is just Pac-Man. I like playing a good maze game. Well, that's the good thing, right? We get an option to... There are options for all of this stuff. This was meant to more so be an engine to work off of, and not many people made Pac-Man fan games to work off of. So, that's the main thing that's going on here. A lot of these fan games are built to be more so bases for other fan games than to actually be full fan games themselves. Which I think can work. I think absolutely you can make a really good Pac-Man fan engine that can do it. But Pac-Man really is as simple as it seems. Even from a programmer's perspective, the hardest thing to do here is the ghosts. And to an extension with Miss Pac-Man the fruits. But it's not going to stop me from doing my very best here. I loved Miss Pac-Man though, knowing the layouts changed every couple rounds and the bouncing fruit made things way different. In fact, it's amazing that we haven't gotten a re-release of my personal favorite Pac-Man game, Pac-Man Jr. Although, it really is no real realization there when you look at the history of Bally Midway and Namco and getting screwed out of money, which is what happened all the time back then. And now not so much, because Namco won't even touch Miss Pac-Man, let alone Junior or anybody else. I have programmed a Pac-Man game. I used to be a programmer. I worked for Namco as an intern for about 2 years. I did contract work, and nothing ended up coming out of that other than some failed pitches and an advertisement, which is a story I'll have to tell some other time. But when it comes to programming Pac-Man, I know it like the back of my hand. And by that, I mean, I know a majority of what's up and down. But every city does it a little differently, which is always fascinating to see. It's awesome stuff until you realize that since we didn't put out a game, I really couldn't attach my name to any current projects, so I couldn't get hired anywhere. And since I was hired on as an intern, I really didn't, like a contract intern, I really couldn't do a whole lot other than that. It didn't take me anywhere is what I'm saying. A lot of my knowledge when it comes to the gaming industry is quite old now. But I'm still relevant enough to know, you know, what's what and where's where. I also worked on a lot of fan games and fan game projects. I did a lot of Mega Man stuff back in the day. I did the cover art for Ojo's A Proto Man Adventure. I worked on a few canceled projects as a sprite artist and animator. I programmed a few of my own basic video games when I was really young to showcase that, yeah, I knew how to program. And, well, it didn't really lead me anywhere. It led me to here, at least. And now I do artwork and video game talking and discussion for everybody on stream, which is rather interesting, because now I have an insider's view, but I'm still an outsider. It's a different viewpoint than what you'll get, say, from somebody reviewing these titles, because I like to look at it from a lens of history, of programming, and from lore. I like taking a look at games on the game level. So, like, stuff like Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. I've got stories. I could tell. I know people who animated that show. I knew people who got screwed over by Disney on that show. I know how much Disney meddled with that Pac-Man design. And I know where that original pitch idea came from. And all of it leads me to believe that Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures was supposed to be a continuation of Pac-Man World. But I'll never know for sure, because I didn't have time to look at the dev docs. We were too busy working on our Tekken spinoff. That still didn't get off the ground. But that's okay. Because, you know, whatever. Nah, yeah. It's actually funny. Oh, I actually did better than I normally do. That's good. Never. Yeah. Exactly. Art style. Not every one of these characters have their other stuff. Disney is the CIA of entertainment corporations. Yeah. So here's something that really brought me to playing this game is having Pac-Man Jr. recreated accurately is a huge thing to me. Junior is one of my favorite games. It had a lot of new mechanics, so it brought in the bouncing fruit back from Miss Pac-Man, but this time when you went over dots, you were slower. You could build speed by angling yourself around corners. Kinda like in Miss Pac-Man, but it would build more substantially. All the ghosts were always faster than you in this game, so it was a lot harder. You had more power pellets to work with, but there's always something. You'll notice I move a little bit slower with those differently colored dots. Oh, and the fruit can blow up the dots, which can help you clear them, but you'll also lose out on the point of the dot and the thing itself, and they can hover over power pellets, if I remember correctly. But yeah, no, I'd love to go into full detail on a lot of that stuff, but I can't for NDA reasons, so... so be it. But yeah, like I said, this is probably going to be a shorter, like, only an hour or two stream. We usually try to stream for about 2 hours, but... like I said, haven't been to bed since yesterday, and... wanting to be a bit of a shorter thing. Oh, right, I'm sorry. How can we watch the stream without Subway Surfers taking up half the screen? Well... I don't know. You could just watch. Expand the attention span in the mind a little bit. Believe it or not, when the body is forced to focus on one simple task of just focus, it helps the mind build endurance for the future. Things to think about. Having multitasks is good, but it can overwhelm the mind, so... NDA reasons. Non-disclosure agreements. I don't know anything about sports. Abrams, run on. Almost NDA. Almost. Why is Red angry? Because Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde have personalities, and they were some of the first characters to have enemies to have major personalities in gaming. Pac-Man was one of the first games to actually have lore and have a story, which is why it's very befitting that I talk about this game series, because, well, one, I like games that have stories, and two, unknown gaming stories are usually the most fun ones to run with, because you can really seem to build... You can kind of build your own story based on what's in the game. And that's something that I've always had fun doing. And Pac-Man's got that in spades. You know, it's a very simple love story about having a kid and... you know, just growing up and trying to be the best you can. And it's a nice family story, but it's not something that most people think about. Well, welcome back! Oh, that's not fun. Yeah, I'm noticing a lot more enemies and stuff in my, like, flies and things around the house. Less so around the house, but, like, they come in with everybody, and I'm like, there's a fly on my TV. It's like, shit. And I gotta deal with it. Should probably get around to spraying the... MatPat! Let's not get into MatPat. MatPat gets a lot of things wrong. MatPat throws a lot of things out. I made a Mega Man video. He made a Mega Man video. His was very wrong and threw out lore bits and called stuff that we knew as a fact as theory. And let's just say between me and Reploid Revo, we don't have a very strong opinion of MatPat. Oh Oh, sure. I'd love to hear it. My favorite MatPat theory is the theory where he just stops talking. Doesn't die or anything. Nothing bad happens to him. He just stops talking. His mouth goes from open to close, and he decides that's it. And he calls it a day. That is my favorite MatPat theory. And my theory is, it won't happen. I've had a power pellet here the whole time. Scree! MatPat quits when. That's what I've been asking. Well, he tries to make a good theory. But if you ever watch a MatPat video, he makes a point, divulges from that point, leads you on this winding, twisting journey, and then by the time he gets to the point of the video, he's changed his opinion. And you've got a completely different video. And I don't mind taking someone on a journey for a video. Hell, I've done it before, but... like... he changes it so much that eventually it's just like, what? Do you even believe any of these things you're saying? I don't want to... yeah, well, I know there's too much money to be made. But, like, you can at least be right. Like, you can make cool video game theories. In fact, part of the reason I made this was just so I could, you know... The part of the reason I do this channel is just so I can showcase some of the really cool things that I know about video games. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to... It does not mean that I'm able to just, like... I don't just want to, like, sit and tell lies about these games, because, like, they're cool to me. To me, at least, they are really cool. We got the Super Pellet. This is always a fun one for me. And a condensed Super Pac-Man maze. If you get a Power Pellet, it'll last a little bit longer. There you go. Yeah, like, I don't mind if there's money to be made in it. Whatever. But, like, make your content quality good. And that's the problem with MatPat, is a lot of the content quality is not there. That's why I usually spend about an hour setting up before a stream. Usually. Like, this one, it didn't need an hour's work. I just knew it would work. But I generally spend a lot of time to make sure that there's no audio hiccups or flubs, so it's easier to watch after the fact. A lot of MatPat's videos has a lot of clunk, and it's, Generally, it's been a lot of, I'll have to agree with you. I think it's a net negative. But only because the quality has gone downhill to a point where people have started to notice. His jumping the shark moment was Sans' Ness, or whatever. And when he jumped that shark, a lot of people stopped taking him seriously. But a lot of kids started to take him even more seriously. And it's ruined a lot of really great series that I think are deserving of actual critical eye. Quality videos will see a concurrence of viewers, even if it's less per vid. Yeah! Well, that's why when I did my Sonic lore video, a lot of people clicked off of it, because I have my Fursuit up front and in person. A lot of people clicked off of it right after I got done with the Fursuit bit of the skit at the beginning, but it's just to hook people. It's not actually what the video's about. It's just to show the absurdity of it all, right? Yeah, but it was still silly. Like, there's a level of insanity that I'm willing to put up with from certain creators, and I just don't think that he had it. It's why I try not to let it I try not to let it bother me as much as it really does, because a lot of MatPat's videos have influenced the way that I've made content on this channel, and it drives me nuts because I hate having to dispel rumors and things about games. I hate having to correct misinformation that he's done. Like the Mega Man series, I've had to correct a ton of stuff. Even in Sonic, I've had to correct stuff because MatPat made a video on it and a bunch of people believed him. Because they think he's some authority on these games, but he's not. And I don't want to seem like I'm an authority on these games. Just because I've worked in the games industry doesn't give me a right to put down another creator. No, MatPat can absolutely do quality content. He used to. And I still think he can. But he needs to slow down. He needs to notice that, yeah, his content quality has gone downhill. Running 4 YouTube channels is a bit much for one guy and even a team of people. The theories no longer feel like theories, they feel like MatPat telling you random bullshit. Well, hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it. The more people that enjoy my content and can share it around and have like a chill time with it is fantastic to me. People may run away at the sight of a fursuit, but that doesn't mean anything to me because at the end of the day, I know that I'm producing quality content that people can come back and enjoy even after the fact. It's why I stream on YouTube rather than Twitch, because I want people to look back on these streams and see that I've gotten better with time, and see that I've mellowed out, and see the quality get better, as well as the quantity be there. I'm just trying to talk. I really don't have a whole lot going on personally, so for me this is very much fuck it, we vibe. Exactly. That's kind of how I that's the playbook I play by. And if people are happy with it, that's all I can ask. If there is a vibe to be had, I will bring it. Usually we do have a co-host on, Casey, but she has been taking great strides to better improve her not mental state, but her, like, financial and, like, responsibility states, which I think are wonderful things. It took a lot of push from me and my other roommates, but Casey is, I think, really, really coming into her own. And I can't wait to have her back on stream again, but till that day comes, you know. Go follow Casey. Get Casey_tape on Twitch. Sub over here. I'll always be doing content anyway, so. I don't plan on stopping. I want to make this my job. I seriously do. I have so much fun just riffing on these games. Talking about them, giving information. Random miscellaneous lore stuff. Oh man, when the game starts running well, like, Pack Booster just goes. Alright. down and around and over. I don't think they timed the super power pellet in the same way that the original did. But that's okay, because this wasn't meant to be a Super Pac-Man remake. The fact that this maze is here is pretty darn cool. Alright, we'll catch you later. Feel free to sub, and I'll catch you on the next one. Alright. I think here in a second, though, I am going to switch it over to the next game. So the fruit are actually based on how many dots you eat. So if you've ever wondered why do the fruit show up sometimes and not others, it's the amount of dots you eat. The more pack dots you eat, the more, after a certain count, a fruit will show up. Then when the fruit shows up, you can go back to collecting pack dots. Then when you get a certain number of dots, the fruit shows up again. Just like that. I'm sure I'm gonna game over here soon. I kinda want to. Because I got one more fan game. Not sure if it'll run with my current controller setup, but we'll give it a go. It's a bit of a more, you know, larger game. Yeah. Usually my streams can be a bit of a vibe. When nothing silly is going on, this is usually what it's like. Especially without Casey on, because usually Casey's the life of the party. But she needed time, and I think it's for the best. Bam. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Anyways. I think we're at the point where the mazes just keep repeating the same difficulty curve. Energetic and calm can be good, but never together. Well, there have been a few times where it's together. Trust me, in my brain, there's always a party going on somewhere. So the only thing I don't like about the Super Pac-Man mazes is that they are very asymmetrical. Like, they're symmetrical in terms of vertical, but then the minute you try to, like, things will be one gap over, and it makes it harder to move, because the diagonals don't work like that. Alright. Riot, not a party. Oh, riots can be parties, though. Alright. File, exit that. Let me get our next game set up. My bad, sorry. for the volume there. I'm not sure if this next one's gonna work properly, but we shall give it a go regardless. Oh, and of course it is full screened. Give me just a moment, folks. Yep. It is way too big. I'm not going to be able to see chat for a bit, but that'll be alright. This one's rather short. Alright. Let's see. There we go. I don't think I can use... Nope. This is just a short demo of 3D Engine for a Pac-Man fan game. They based the physics on Pac-Man World 2 and Pac-Man World 3. It's fairly good. I think the animation quality is fantastic, and I would love to see more like this. You got the butt bounce. There's the pack dot throw here as well. I do wish the pack dot's homed in a little bit more, kind of like what Sparks does with the gems. In Spyro the Dragon. It's a piece of health. Sorry if this is getting anybody sick. I know the camera movements can be quite a bit with this game. That when we get close enough to a ghost while eating a power pellet, they'll start to run away from you. It's kind of difficult to play this with a keyboard, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, when I said there were Pac-Man fan games, I mean it, absolutely. And some of them are very, very ambitious. I think this was one of the ones that's a bit more ambitious than what we've seen so far. And I just love this fuzzier look that they gave Pac-Man. I think it fits the character. It just got this right amount of bloom to make it feel like, yeah, I'm just playing an older game, but it really does feel like a more modern title, even if the camera's a little jank. I'm not always pressing the camera button, it just kind of swings where it wants. These nice... Oop. Grabbed onto the edge there. Got these nice treetop bits. Get the ghost box. Get that. Checkpoint there. Some of the collision's a little wonky, but for a team of like, what, 2 or 3 people, this is pretty good. Certainly better than I could do nowadays, that's for sure. I have not programmed since that internship, by the way. I haven't really needed to. It's not my primary job. And that's a-okay with me, because I don't think I'd want to work in the games industry nowadays. I think I'm better suited as an entertainer than I am a game maker. Even if I really do wish I could go back and change some things. I don't think it would have made a difference, but hey, you never know. yeah, it was either this or Mega Man Unlimited. I've got, we're gonna be doing a Minecraft stream this week, specifically, one covering some of the DLCs that they came out with for Sonic and Mega Man X. I think it'll be an interesting time. We're also planning out a legitimate way to do the Mario one, which is a full-size thing. But yeah, see how the chat's holding up. Well, this is all I've got for today. Because it's canon, because I say so. Alright. I just wanted to play Unlimited to have some fun. But yeah. So kind of all I got today. I know today's a much shorter stream than I usually do. I usually do 2 hours, but today's one of those days where I'm like, I got no energy. I got a couple other things planned for this week, don't worry. It's gonna just take me some time to step into it. So. I think a chill, easy going, shorter stream for this week is just what the doctor ordered, so. That's all for today. I've been your humble host, Gavin the Kitty. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at GavinDragonYT. You can follow me on the Discord down below. You can see all my artwork on, all safe for work artwork in the Telegram art dump down below as well. We've also got PayPal link on your screen or in the description where you can donate to help me out. But you don't have to. Just subscribe, show these videos to some people, and have a lovely rest of your day. There'll be stuff to click on once YouTube gets in processing this, and yeah, no, that's it. I've been your humble host. Good night, everybody.